All right. Three, two,
Two,
one,
one,
go.
go.
So, about the Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire.
Yeah, I haven't heard about that in a while, have we?
No, it's not. When's it coming out again?
I don't know, sometime like tomorrow?
Wait, tomorrow? Hold on, let me check my
Yeah.
Let me check my calendar real quick.
Yeah, considering the Illuminati style red lines that I have marked on my wall, tomorrow is correct.
Wow. It's like no one talks about the game on Twitter. I barely hear anything.
I actually hear a lot of things, but that's because Zoe tends to retweet a lot of Bulbapedia stuff on Twitter.
Yeah, I see a bunch of that, but because she's on Australia, I only see it like when I'm going to school. So, and I just see a bunch of Smash stuff recently, like a bunch of the Nintendo ambassadors were showing like sneak peeks, like Pro Jared, and
especially towards there's been a lot of commotion about the path towards getting your Mewtwo unlock in Smash. I've been seeing that a lot as well.
Yeah. What are your thoughts on Mewtwo in Smash now?
I think it's all right. I mean, considering how he's handled in Project M, like he handles differently. He's more physical and doesn't really depend on he doesn't depend on keeping close. He's more able to distance himself. I guess the best way to put it is he's Lucario in space.
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 I want to go to space.
Hello, everyone.
Welcome.
Welcome to the cast.
Welcome to, I believe we're calling this Titlecard. We haven't really settled on a name yet.
Yeah, Titlecard sounds about right. It's also the most generic thing in the history of mankind, but that's what we'll have to go with.
Yeah, I was thinking like a little, not really gimmick, but just a good way of organizing it for anyone that was like looking at well, no, why would anyone look at it at a video track? I don't know, but I was gonna suggest like we stay silent as we transition into something new, but
yeah,
we're both kind of silent, so it works very well.
Right. The only time we're silent is when we're playing a game that's exciting, but right now we're just staring at a screen at our own waveforms.
Yeah. Actually, I may want to move that because I gotta look at some stuff. Okay.
Okay. So today is November 20th, 2014, and currently we are in the wake of probably one of the most insane release windows of video games in the past like 3 or 4 years.
This has been a very busy November.
Yeah. We're talking more insane than the release window between Skyrim and Modern Warfare 3.
You know, because Mountain Dew and Doritos.
Mountain Dew, Doritos, and Dovahkiin. Or Fosruda. Fosrudu.
Do.
Forus Dukavikin Durisan. I can come up with Dova really easily. That's a language that I've never understood being so cryptic in that game.
Yeah.
When all it sounds to me is like somebody took the Norse language and decided, all right, put it in an audio mixer, jumble it up, and we'll have our voice actors randomly say it, and we'll try to create a tangible language out of it.
Woo.
And potentially, if people figure out what the actual language means, then we'll just nod, shake our heads, give them a gold star, and put it in our lore book, like people figured out for the Hylian language.
It's like Banjo-Kazooie, how most of what Mumbo's saying is sexual innuendos.
Oh yeah, Grant Kirkhope, you heroic motherfucker, you.
Yeah. What's he doing now?
He actually just recently, I think about a month ago, he released the entire Banjo-Kazooie soundtrack, soundboard and all. Like any musical tune you hear that he did is available in like a 150 track thing, and you can download it for free.
Jesus.
So it's like it's absolute insanity. And I was playing Red Dead Redemption, and during any like random exploration sequences, I would listen to the music and it worked really well.
Yeah.
So
I remember seeing that like as news for one day, but then like no one's discussed it, so I thought it just kind of died off.
well, yeah, it died off like Banjo-Kazooie died off in everyone's hearts.
So a lot of people have been wondering how our channel's been, and we've
A
been,
lot of people. You mean just us?
yeah, and like the 2 other people that watch.
Yeah. All right.
Basically, we've both been having troubles. I've been busy with school. He said computer issues, and just this last week, we tried to get stuff working together when he got his computer back, but I've been sick.
Yes. As it stands right now, my computer is back, and I'm still working out the kinks because it's not the powerhouse it used to be. It's basically running on zombie parts.
Ooh.
So, it's running on a refurbished motherboard, probably the same processor that burnt out with the motherboard. But any other way, it's at least working, and I can play games on it, and I can record with it. So that I got that going for me, which is good. I just need to actually sit down and try to record Fatal Frame all the way through. But as it stands for the channel, these problems with the channel occurred a little bit before my computer got messed up royally. Not only with the busyness of Quill, we just had issues with recordings corrupting and everything. That's why if the next Thousand Year Door episode comes out, it probably will just bypass the boss fight of Chapter 2, because it's going to take a while for us to get back to that position. And honestly, that kind of thing should just be left as it is, kind of like a standing point for it.
Yeah, we've had a lot of problems with recording. We've even lost an entire project that we recorded and lost it all.
Yeah. During the transition, during the transition with Paper Mario, especially, I had lost my headset broke, so I had to get a replacement one, which is the one I'm using now. But you guys don't hear that mic. You hear a different mic that I use, and this microphone. I actually can work with, because the microphone that I have on my new headset is absolutely inoperable and will not work for recording purposes.
Gotta love that.
It balances itself too well, and I just can't work with the audio because it peaks a lot. It's not very good, but at least the headset works. I have that going for me.
Yeah, and I personally am feeling better. Not 100%. I've got like a mild headache. Like, what was wrong with me? I guess it started Sunday. I had like this head splitting headache, and couldn't like breathe. For those of you who don't know, I do have like I used to have asthma.
Yeah, you have very slight asthma.
It used to be bad. Like winter weather used to kill me, but
winter weather kills me.
It's gotten better.
Really bad allergies.
Yeah, it's gotten better. I did running a lot this summer, so I've been able to like breathe pretty well.
Yeah, getting fit.
No, keep on.
Yeah. So our main topic today is we're going to be talking about games that are coming out, YouTube channels that we've been keeping up with, news, games that are releasing. Our focal point in that matter is going to be towards Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire. Mm-hmm. And we're also going to discuss various matters of recent news, which will not be very recent when this video inevitably comes out.
We're also going to be talking about what games we've been playing as of recently. My list is going to be pretty small, so I guess we can go ahead and just jump right into that.
All right, sounds good to me.
One of the first games I've been playing is more of a replay. I've been replaying Link Between Worlds. I'm actually holding the cartridge in my hand right now.
Yay!
I've been replaying that just out of whim, because I really liked that game when it first came out. And I was trying to like remember how the game was structured, and just like remembering how the story went was pretty good.
The game seems to structure itself really well.
It really has. I really like the dungeons. Dungeons were pretty good.
Yeah.
Comparably, though, I do think it is a shorter game compared to most Zeldas.
Yeah, I mean, comparatively, just going through the main line, a lot of Zelda games seem a lot shorter than other ones.
Mm-hmm. And
Like-
and this one's especially shorter because you have the entire map that's basically Link to the Past, but it's a lot less stuff there.
Yeah, and I mean, if you're trying to go for 100%, I can see maybe it taking a little bit longer than
That's what I've been doing
Link
for
to the
this
Past.
file.
The best thing to compare it to is really a Link to the Past, though. That's the thing.
It basically is that. It's basically a 3D version of Link to the Past with new renditions because you have the
Yeah.
have the 2D you have the 2D ability where you can just attach the walls, and that adds to some of the puzzles because
Yeah.
the second dungeon in the game actually has you like platforming using it. It's very nice. I really like it.
Yeah. I haven't played a Zelda game since Wind Waker HD. Like that's kind of Zelda's kind of like that Gray Line franchise for me, where it's like, oh yeah, I love the Zelda games, but I just never take the time to play them.
hmm
I guess it just I don't know. I guess it just takes a lot of time.
Yeah, Twilight Princess is my favorite, but that's mainly because like the story and just the atmosphere in it. I really like it. But
I have a bitter point with Twilight Princess. Like I don't like it for a very bad reason, and it's because the game soft locked me.
yeah,
Like when I actually did make progress after playing it on the GameCube version and then transferring over to the Wii version, I actually made it much further. But then I was in Snow Peak, yeah, and the game soft locked. It sucked.
That's not good.
Yeah, because I didn't get to experience the Frazetta.
Rosetta, yeah.
And that would have been like a total game changer for me.
That music, Rosetta's music was pretty good.
Yeah, I said Frazetta, but it's Blizzetta, isn't it?
Blizzetta, yes, that's right. I said Rosetta, so we both got that wrong.
Oh no, we're already screwing it up. We already ruined like 50% of our childhoods. Yeah, I actually sat down and listened to the soundtrack of Twilight Princess, and it's beyond insanity.
It's pretty good, all orchestrated.
Yeah.
And
I was actually towards the start of all Zelda music being orchestrated.
Yeah, and most of it was reorchestrations of just Ocarina of Time music.
Yeah, I think Skyward Sword was the first fully orchestrated one, though.
Yes. Except for,
and
for
I
the
think
house
that
theme.
transferred. Yeah, house made. Everything else was everything else, including Twilight Princess, used samples.
Mm-hmm.
That was actually a thing that was brought up in a Pop Fiction episode, where they were talking about the infamous Fire Temple chants from Ocarina of Time's Fire Temple, the ones that sounded like a Muslim chant.
Yes.
And they just there was like 3 updates. One of them was like, we haven't found anything yet, and we got confirmation that they were sound samples. And then the last update they did that finally closed the book on the entire myth was they found a forum post where a bunch of Zelda fans and sound engineers teamed up and found out all of the individual sound samples that were used from like the freeware sound sample stuff.
Mm-hmm.
Like, and they found every single sample in a lot of the Zelda games that used them. So like the Fire Temple chant, and then there was a few of them that were used as far as Twilight Princess.
Jeez.
So I don't know, I like that kind of thing, being able to find out the inner workings of game design and like the engineering behind music, trying to modify samples like that and making them have a completely different tone than they usually do.
Yeah,
I like that.
It makes you really think how far game development in general is just gone.
Yeah.
My favorite track will always be, from now on, Leonidas from is it? No, fuck. Landius. That's it. God, I haven't played Skyward Sword in a while. God damn it.
Yeah. I don't know. I guess my favorite track from video games, I can't really put a finger on what my favorite track is, because a lot of them nail it for different reasons.
That fight in general was pretty good, because it was the only one where you were on the loft wing.
Oh yeah. I actually recently listened to the original Pikmin 2 Submerged Castle theme.
Yeah.
Because every time I listened to Submerged Castle, it was always like kind of muted, because the way that I used to record standard definition stuff was I had a Dazzle, and I would split the audio, but one of the channels I didn't have a splitter for, so I just plugged it into the Dazzle, and that left me with just one channel. So anytime I wanted to listen to any video game music, I had to listen to it through mono.
Yeah.
With the stereo on, so it translated over to streams and such. So I never actually fully heard the Submerged Castle theme. That music is so out of place.
It really is.
I love it.
The second game I've been playing as of recently is Smash 3DS, but who hasn't?
I haven't.
Right.
I played the demo. And I didn't care much for it.
I wouldn't really suggest it. I'd suggest getting the Wii U version, because there's not a lot of
course.
There's not a lot of content in the 3DS version to keep you coming back, other than that it's portable.
The sad thing is that the reason why you get Smash in general is to play it with your friends.
Mm-hmm.
But I have no friends,
so you can't fight for them.
So games, yeah. So like the mini games like Smash Tour and everything are lost to me, because you can't play those online. They don't have local.
Oh,
so they only have local support. Like, you can only just fight. That's the thing.
It sucks, yeah.
Mm.
We got to do that. We got to go to PAX sometime and just smash.
Oh yeah. This is the entire purpose of this channel, is just to have a channel ready for collaborations like that.
Yeah.
I'll bring my copy of Red Dead Redemption so you can enjoy Undead Nightmare.
And I'll bring my copy of Zack Zero.
There is exactly 0 chance of playing that while at PAX.
Ooh, nice.
That was a shitty pun. I'm sorry. Can I put that in the pun jar? Donate it for our PAX fund.
1 penny.
1 penny.
Yeah.
Smuggle that through the TSA.
Just need about 10,000 more of those, and we'll be okay.
You hiding pennies up your butt, son? No.
Not at all. I've also been playing 3DS game just dropped. I've also been playing Golden Sun Dark Dawn.
Oh yeah. I've heard a bit about Dark Dawn. That it's not the strongest title.
It's not, but it's still pretty good. The music in it is Golden Sun. It's
of
good.
Course. It's like the main reason you play, like the main reason you play some music, like some games, is for the music.
Yes.
And other times it's like because they actually have really solid gameplay.
Mm-hmm.
Journey seems to be one of those games where I'm like, I love the game, but I wouldn't have had as much of a good time with it if I didn't hear the music. Because Journey's soundtrack is phenomenal.
Where did I'm trying to think of the track from Golden Sun I linked on my Twitter, and I can't find it right now.
Somebody actually linked
here it is. Crap. I have to figure out the title by clicking it.
Somebody actually linked, I think it was, I follow somebody called Norumu, which is a Monster Hunter streamer that I used to follow. He plays a lot of Monster Hunter stuff for, and I usually kind of try to play sessions with him whenever I can. But he usually plays Hearthstone and Heroes of the Storm and such. You know, Blizzard games particularly. And he linked one of the songs from Smash for Wii U, and it was the remastered Escape from the City theme that I think was from Sonic Generations.
No,
because it wasn't the original.
Yeah, Sonic Generations, it has to be.
Yeah. the Generations version was a remaster, I think, done by Crush 40, not the original.
Mhm.
Not the original band that did City Escape.
I don't know if you heard me, but I actually sang a part of it. That may be in recording.
Yeah.
Yeah. What else have I been playing? I've been touching a little bit of Code of Princess. That sounds a bit wrong.
Poor choice of words.
Yes.
Poor choice of words.
I've been playing a little bit of Code of Princess. That game is pretty good, but I can only play it in short segments. That's how I really feel about a beat 'em up. I can only play it in short segments.
I kind of felt that way with Kid Icarus Uprising. I was foolish enough to try to play that game in 3D. It's horrid. It's horrid.
It really is.
Never play that game in 3D.
Yeah.
It is a bad idea.
Code of Princess has like the same thing as Smash 3DS has for me. Like
the cell shading, or
no, it's just I can't play it in
yeah.
like a long. It doesn't have a good longevity for me over time. But I still go back and play it. It's pretty good. In Code of Princess, for those of you who don't know what Code of Princess is a beat 'em up game that references the princess's name. I forget her name. It's French though. It's something in French.
It's based on the princess's name that I can't remember.
Yeah, I can't think of her name, but it's based on the
Fantastic.
it's based on the princess, and that she has the sword that held a kingdom together, and then the king, I believe, gets assassinated, and she was able to go like grab the sword and run off before an evil army came and took over the kingdom, and then she meets these people, and you can actually play as them, and each character you play as has a different play style. Like, that's a good element for the game. Like, there's a necromancer that you can play as, and she has more like more magic based attacks. You can play as a ninja type girl, more thief than ninja, but she's more agility based, but doesn't hit a lot. Code of Princess herself, she hits hard, but is slow because of the sword she's carrying. And then there's the jester with a guitar that you play as. His name's
perfect.
His name's Allegro, and he's actually like my favorite character to play as. He's a lot of fun because most of his attacks are based around his guitar and how he can just use abilities based around it. Like he has an area of effect where if you press the attack button repeatedly, he attacks every single time, and then he does like a final, I don't know what to call it.
He rocks the world with music.
Yeah, it's really good, and then he can up his attack with a tune.
That reminds me of Donkey Kong's Final Smash from Brawl.
Yeah.
Where it's like the fucking Congo.
Yes.
Congos.
That's that really what it is, yeah.
Oh my god. That Final Smash is so stupid because like 20% of people who had a GameCube will get it.
Yes.
Until like the new Play Control stuff came out, where they brought Jungle Bee back with the Wii controls. But like only 20% of people that had a GameCube will understand what those bongo drums are for.
Be like, is this supposed to be his new weapon? What?
Donkey Kong is Donkey Konga-ing.
Konging?
I should create a game called Donkey Konga. That sounds like a fantastic idea. Oh, it's already out? What the hell is this bullshit?
I know what mine's gonna be. Mine's gonna be a DDR ripoff. You know, Konga.
Crypt of the Necrodancer?
Yes.
Crypt of the Necrodancer is a fucking awesome game. I just want to point that out. I love Crypt of the Necrodancer.
You know what's an awesome game? Dance Dance Revolution Mario Mix. That's just good in its own right.
There's a copy on 99 Gamers for like 10 coins.
You should get it, man.
Like a new copy and everything. And there are people selling the
pad,
selling it for like $40, yeah, with the pad and everything.
Ooh.
And I really want to pick that up, but I have to get Omega Ruby.
Yeah, just so you can play with Zoe.
Yeah. I guess before we go on to the topic of talking about what games I've been playing, we should kind of talk about Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire.
Yeah. What do you think about it?
I'm excited because I recently found out that the intro is like the greatest nod to the game's like lineage. Yeah, you don't mind if I spoil it for you,
Oh
right?
no, that's fine.
Okay, I guess this will come out after the game releases. So,
There
uh,
may be some people that may be getting it late. So if you want to,
yeah,
if you want to skip this, just skip on ahead like 10.
just wait for the boop, I guess.
Yeah, 10 or so
something.
minutes, and you'll
I
be
don't
fine.
Quill will flash the screen white and give you a seat.
I am not flashing the screen, okay?
No. The opening sequence is just the Ruby Sapphire Emerald intro, which like the old sprite work and everything with like the new text type and everything. And it's like, are you a boy or are you a girl? And it like kind of slowly transitions to the new form. And then it's revealed that you're in a first-person perspective playing Ruby, Sapphire, and Emerald on a Game Boy Advance SP,
Oh, that's
Pokemon
cool.
form ripoff, and you're in the moving van.
That is so cool.
It's so cool.
Is Orlando important? Like, is he the
Orlando's the default. Orlando's the new default name for the male
the fuck?
character.
Then who's the female?
I think it's still May. I don't know.
What the fuck happened to Brandon?
I don't know. That's weird.
What? Was he he named Orlando in different countries? That may be the case.
It might be. I can't really look right now because I'm surrounded by wires.
I can quickly look up while you're talking about your games.
I think I could actually probably side type. Let me look.
Just talk about your games. I'll look it up.
Okay. I've been playing a lot more games than Quill has. Just a warning.
Yeah.
Recently I've been tackling Far Cry 3 because I've been wanting to get that off my backlog for a while. Because I got it. I think you gave it to me last Christmas or summer. You bought it for me for summer. Like it was on sale.
Yeah, it was on
summer.
summer sale, and I decided to get you that, and I believe the
Yeah.
Skyrim DLC.
Yes.
That's when else got that, yeah.
I paid you back, kinda.
What'd you get?
I gave you like a $50 eShop card.
the $50 eShop card. Whoa,
Yeah.
that was more.
Well, that was reimbursement. And
that was more compensation for the bullshit that happened with Gates
Yeah.
of Infinity.
Thanks, USPS. Now I don't have to play that game again.
Yay!
Anyways,
Now some other loser has it.
I don't know. I really like Far Cry 3's gameplay, but the story is like, I don't know what to do with it. Like, it loses its competence halfway through, and then it never seems to pick back up. It's like it becomes more and more ridiculous. Like it becomes more like about it becomes less about a saving your friends deal, and then the game gradually takes like a 180 and it's just like fuck your friends. It's all about revenge. It's like
Yeah, that's really what it turns down to, and then like toward the end, your character finally gets his personality.
finally gets to make his own choice.
Yes.
Like the entire time you've been led to do things, but the one time you're meant to make a choice is like the worst choice you could ever make as a human being.
Yes, that's
It's like
horrible.
kill everybody I know and love or let them go. And I've actually been analyzing the characters in that game, and everything boils down to the main theme of that game, which is insanity. Because it's like the one character you meet, Dennis, like the first character you meet, he brands you with a tattoo and everything. And then he tries to like guide you into being a follower for Citra. And I'm pretty sure how it boils down to is that he was trying to get a really good warrior to do everything for Citra so he could be on Citra's good side. And then Citra only cares about you. So that leads him to get like drunk. At one point, before the third act and you go to Hoyt's Island, you pass by Dennis and he's just fucking wasted, like piss drunk. And I think it's like 30 minutes after you fuck Citra. So it's clearly like him trying to like get on her good side in the same way, and it just never works. It just never works out. It's like the weirdest fucking thing. Everything has like some form of insanity, and it's like the bad guy is actually like you, as well as being the bad guy, like Voss. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's weird. It's a good game, but it's weird.
Yeah.
That's the best way I can explain it. And like the way I'm playing through it right now, and I'm hearing that the same issues I have with the game is still in Far Cry 4. I'm like, how have you not learned after 3 years that nobody wants to hear the same conversation every time they die before they can actually go to the waypoint they want to go to? How have you not learned that?
Apparently that word is Drake of the Night Dragons.
Apparently Ubisoft, who is phenomenal at making games.
They take a role from Drake of the Night Dragons.
Mm-hmm.
That is striking nerve.
Yep. I've also been playing the new Project M release, 3.5.
This is one I want to hear about because I'm interested in it.
This release added a lot of new stuff. They recently added something called All-Star Versus Mode, which I don't think you've heard about. I think Connor has talked about it a little bit. But All-Star Versus Mode is a versus mode where it has the same aspects of All-Stars, where you pick your character, but every time you lose or like you destruct, you go off stage, you like lose a stock or you die or something, it randomly picks a different character. So every time you die, you get a different character every time.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
Have you heard of the homebrew stuff for the 3DS?
Yeah, they're recently coming out with the homebrew stuff, aren't they?
Mm-hmm. It's supposed to be like a separate, like, third-party app, but
Good. Because the 3DS is a very capable system.
it is.
It can handle homebrew.
I just think it's been like it's underestimated compared to like the GameCube because it's a handheld.
Yeah. It's underestimated compared to the DS, actually.
Yeah.
That's the sad thing.
I mean, there's some things it can't do, like Ice Climbers. Ice Climbers was completely removed from Smash because
and yet Duck Hunt Duo, and Rosalina and Luma.
I don't understand that.
Yeah. Either way, the best new addition to Project M 3.5 is that they re-implemented single player stuff. So they finally were able to re-add event matches, and they re-implemented the Subspace Emissary.
Oh, nice.
And the most hilarious thing about the Subspace Emissary is that they were able to... the reason why Pokemon Trainer is no longer in the game was because they split the 3 Pokemon from Pokemon Trainer into their own characters with their own different movesets.
Yes.
So every character has like a new down B that's different, so there's no more of a trade out. And apparently the Pokemon Trainer code was used to add Mewtwo into the game.
Huh.
But the funniest thing about it is that if you play the Subspace Emissary and you choose to play as Pokemon Trainer, anytime you select Pokemon Trainer, the title card isn't Pokemon Trainer anymore, it's Mewtwo. So you can, and the thing is like it's still Pokemon Trainer. Yeah, I mean, as far as I've played, I only have Squirtle, but I'm guessing that if I get Ivysaur and Charizard, then I'll be able to switch through them freely. But yeah, I forgot how fun Subspace Emissary is.
I haven't played it in years because I had that.
I haven't played it since the game came out.
Did you? I had a challenge in my copy of Brawl where I would only play like matches and unlock my characters to there. I accomplished it. Took me over 800 matches, but I accomplished it.
Yes. You can unlock like 75% of the locked roster through Subspace.
Yeah, the only
that was the most depressing
there are only
thing.
3 you missed, but I got every single one of them, even Jigglypuff through just playing.
Yeah,
because I got bored, so I'd sit every character on like 6 and just one stop, play around on that.
But for those of you wondering, if you want Project M for yourself, you can download it to any Wii. You don't need to homebrew it. but the trade-off is that you need to delete every single stage that you've made custom, which isn't bad. I mean, who actually cares about Stage Builder?
Yeah, I heard the Wii U version of Stage Builder is not good.
I've heard it's better.
I think it is because of the new backgrounds and like the.
No. It's like you can custom make it everything.
Yeah.
Like I think Game Explain recently released a video where they made the original like Smash 64 Hyrule Temple to scale with it, and it works. But it's like you can't. All you can do is build stages. You can't like do background detail and everything like a good stage builder would. But I mean, it's not a bad.
And there's
stage
only
builder.
like 8 objects you can select.
Yeah, I could see the problem.
Like the springs and moving platforms, but the trade-off is that like the moving platforms, you can move them anywhere. Like have them at any 2 points. So that's pretty good.
That's good.
All right, what else have you been playing? Unless you have more to talk about Project.
Yes. I've been playing a lot of Red Dead Redemption. I talked about this earlier. Red Dead Redemption is probably by far the best game I played this year, which is saying something since the game came out in 2010. And the greatest thing is that I got the Game of the Year edition for like $20. It comes with all the DLC and the Undead Nightmare expansion. So it's legitimately 60 hours. It took me 60 hours total to complete both standalones, the vanilla game and Undead Nightmare, and it was the most fun I've ever had with a shooter in a long time. Like, it was depressing how good that game was. Like, especially in comparison because I had just finished GTA 5 the week before, and I had played Red Dead Redemption, and I was like, oh my god, this is what I've been missing?
Yeah.
Because the first time I ever played Red Dead Redemption was on my Xbox 360, because I had heard a friend talk about it. And at that point, I had known the ending of the game. But when I saw the ending for the first time, playing through it actually this time, I had never felt more depressed this year than I ever have, because it was sad. That was a sad ending, man.
It really is.
But it has that, because the thing with Red Dead Redemption is you can't get away with making a bad Western game. You cannot get away with making a bad old Western game. You can get away with making a bad like modern shooter because, you know, it's cut from the same cloth. It's really easy to make mistakes that other people don't like. But you can't fuck up an old West game because that's a formula that not a lot of games have tried, especially in the past 5-10 years. And Rockstar nailed it.
They did, yeah.
They nailed it. Like, they even have poker in the game. They have actual playable poker. And, like, liar's dice and blackjack and shit. And it's actual poker. They programmed actual poker. And it's better than the poker from Far Cry 3. Because Far Cry 3 is clearly bullshit. But, like, if you know how to play poker and you know the good and the bad hands, then you can actually succeed very well in Red Dead. And you also have, like, Five-Finger Fillet, which is, like, rhythmic sequence button pressing, and horseshoes, horse breaking. It just has all this shit that you can do, and it's fantastic. And I'd say that's probably the best game I played this year. I also recently picked up Destiny again because of the new update.
And what are your thoughts on Destiny now, like, after it's been out for a couple of weeks? I know you've said, like, small things.
I'd say that it's gotten better. The best thing I could say about that game is that it's a really great loot grind with friends, but that's where I kind of draw the line. Like, it's a great shooter, but everything lacks in its own specific way. Like, the voice acting is too natural for its own good. And the story is basically non-existent and very full of holes. You can clearly tell it's full of holes. But the gameplay is excellent. And, like, everything about it, gameplay-wise, is really good. And that's what Bungie's focusing on, is making the gameplay good.
Yeah, I was interested in, like, well, actually I wasn't really interested. I heard a lot about, wow, I blame school. I'm just kind of off track today. I blame the fact that I wasn't really frequent with like Twitter and stuff over the summer, so I didn't hear a lot about Destiny, but like I've just heard like bits and pieces of it.
Yeah. The game is a very divided game among the community. You have half of the people who really fucking hate the game, and then the other half of people who absolutely love it. It's almost like the Dark Souls 2 community. Like, a lot of people love Dark Souls for its challenge and everything, and then people go to Dark Souls 2 and they're just like, oh, this shit's easy. Like, what is this? And it's like all broken and everything's like laggy. It's like, and it's like, the Dark Souls people hate Dark Souls 2. But I'm in the Dark Souls 2 community, where I really love Dark Souls 2 for giving me a challenge that I can tolerate, and I don't like Dark Souls for being basically labyrinthian in its design. Like, I cannot stand the Duke's Archives, because the Duke's Archives is where I've stopped, because I don't know where else to go. Like, it's basically a wall for me, and I really want to beat Dark Souls. That's the problem. But I know I'm not even a third of the way through the game. Anyways, what else have I played? I've gotten back into ACNL, or Animal Crossing, New Leaf.
What are your thoughts on that game?
It's been a long time since I played it. And the best way I can explain it is, wow, I completely forgot how much I cared about this game. Because as a kid, I grew up with the original Animal Crossing on the GameCube.
Yes, I am.
Like, that was the first game that I got. That was the first game that I got through Nintendo Power's like subscription thing, where it's like you get a new. It's like every time you opened up the Animal Crossing box, it came with like little Nintendo Power subscription thing, and if you opened it up to one of the issues where they were talking about Animal Crossing, it was like, get Animal Crossing with this memory card and the strategy guide, with a 12-month subscription to Nintendo Power for like an extra $60. I'm like, hell yes, I will do that. Mm-hmm. But I did that with Super Mario Sunshine instead, because Super Mario Sunshine came with a Wavebird. It came with the game, a memory card, the Wavebird, a set of batteries, and the strategy guide. And sadly, that Wavebird is no longer in commission. But
did it like get sick or something?
The Wavebird, I guess, is because of how much infrared stuff I have in my room now, but it just doesn't work like it used to. So I had to I just retired it,
Fair enough.
In terms of more recent games I've played, The Binding of Isaac Rebirth.
You own that?
Yeah, because it's a PS Plus game for free on PS4. So I got it. I got it for free on PS Plus for PS4, and I actually beat it, like, in the first day of playing it. It's not hard. It's not easier than Binding of Isaac with the Wrath of the Lamb DLC, but I found myself just getting really good runs, like, more often. It seems like the randomness factor was toned down a bit, but the chances of getting the really good items was drastically improved. So, drastically decreased. So it feels more balanced than Binding of Isaac was, and it plays like a dream.
Yeah.
Like, it plays absolutely well.
I never really had any good luck in any, like, roguelikes.
Yeah, that tends to be the issue.
Like, roguelike we see, I suck at.
Well, roguelites are, like, they're basically the gray line for me. Like, you have to be really good. Like, the game has to be really good for me to sit down and be tortured like that. I've been playing Teleglitch recently as well, and that game is, like, it's like the first two levels are like, okay, you're dealing with zombies, and then the third stage is like, okay, looks like that guy's a zombie person. Oh, he has a gun. Oh, I'm dead. It sucks. The game doesn't suck, but dying like that sucks. At least you're prepared next time, which I guess is the draw of roguelites.
Yeah, I guess the only one I've really enjoyed, like, playing to its fullest extent was Risk of Rain, and that one is really good.
Mm-hmm.
It's just I'm probably gonna actually talk to Gemini and see if he wants to do some, like, co-op stuff on it. Because that would be a really good multiplayer game.
What game again?
Risk of Rain.
Oh yeah. I have that game too.
Oh, that's nice.
I would be down to play that.
Yeah, that'd be sweet.
We should play that for Luke.
In the future, everyone.
In the future, and you're probably recording because I have yet to master my setup. Anyways, also another game I talked about this earlier as well is Crypt of the Necrodancer. That game is amazing because it mixes 3 elements you'd never think would work, and they make it work. Like Crypt of the Necrodancer, for people who don't know what that game is, it's a roguelite where you traverse a dungeon in like a top-down perspective, but you have to move to the rhythm of music made by Derry Baranowski, who does the Super Meat Boy music. And it's incredible fun, and you can play with a DDR pad. And it's hard. Like, really super hard, but the music is amazing. So every time you die, you don't feel bad, because if you die, then the music still plays. So you, like, seethe over it for a little bit, but you still have the awesome music. So I never found a fault with that game. It's absolute fun. But I guess that's it for games I played so far. Besides Euro Truck Simulator. I don't think anybody cares about Euro Truck Simulator.
Yeah, it's just... You can't really say much.
You drive trucks in Europe. Done.
Can't really say much about that.
And it's simulatory. Moving on.
Let's move on to news. There is a new Humble Bundle out. It is a joystick weekly bundle, and until Thursday at, I believe, 1 o'clock p.m. Central Time, you can pick up Beat Hazard Ultra, Intake, Dungeon of Elements, The Dream Machine, Chapters 1 through 4. For $6, you can pick up Slender the Arrival and Primal Carnage, which is by Lukewarm Studios. And for $15, you can pick up Costume Quest 2.
I know for a fact that Primal Carnage is decent. The bundle isn't actually too bad. Like, alone, it would be worth Beat Hazard Ultra. Just for, like, the $6.
I'm interested in Intake, because I looked at it and it looks like just retro Dr. Mario.
Let me look.
Yeah, just like look at it. The description even calls it like Dr. Mario.
Oh.
Yeah.
Dr. Mario mixed with Ikaruga? Wow.
Yeah.
How do you say that?
Ikaruga.
I don't know. Ikaruga? Yep. I recently found out that I've been saying Valkyria Chronicles wrong. And I stopped caring, like, after 30 minutes of trying to get the name right. Because my accent just doesn't allow for it. Blame my heritage.
Blame your heretic.
Yeah, right. Recently, the Halo Master Chief Collection released, which is a collection of the Halo Combat Evolved Anniversary Edition, which is the remastered version that came out on Xbox 360 like last year, I think, after Halo 4 released, or before 2011. Shit. And it came with Halo 2 Remastered, which was the biggest selling point of that game. It also came with a 1080p upscaled port with 60 FPS gameplay of Halo 3, and Halo 4 also upscaled to 1080p to fit the Xbox One's new graphics settings and style. And it recently has undergone major server issues, which apparently was also a trend with Halo 4. So I have to ask this question. What the hell is 343 Industries doing?
There is really not a good formula for connection stuff, because I remember Battlefield 4 had connection issues.
Battlefield 4 didn't just have
it was a broken game in general, but one of their breaks was connection issues. Didn't Destiny have some connection issues at launch?
it still has issues because you're dealing with like 1,000 different mixtures of how a connection could go wrong.
Mm-hmm.
Gemini, specifically, had issues with his college connection, and Bungie found out that college connections had a specific NAT type that restricted online play from Destiny. So they fixed that, and then that created even more issues for everyone. But they recently have gotten it better, at least. But no, we've been seeing this trend with a lot of online games as of recently, especially with the newly released Assassin's Creed Unity, which has also undergone a huge amount of fire as well, due to the fact that it's an utterly glitchy game and has horrible connections, and apparently has microtransactions that I think Ubisoft immediately backed away from after its outrage.
Another game that has bad connections and everyone has been backlashing at, and developers backed off of.
I think we all know that game is Sonic Boom: Rise of Suckin'.
Sonic Boom.
Anyways.
Sonic Boom. Lower of Sonic.
Sonic Boom: Rise of Lyrics. Every time I see a video, every time somebody posts a video on Twitter, it somehow is worse than the last one I've seen. Like, somebody found out that you could basically unload 5% of the level just through some kind of manipulation and everything, and you could fall through the stage and everything. And then, sure enough, 2 days later, somebody found out that you could trick the game into unloading 95% of the stage. Like, all 95% of the stage is graphics in general, so you're just floating around in space with nothing, but with the collision still active. But the moment it tries to load all the graphics, the game fucking crashes.
I'm still gonna say the best thing about the game was the 100% completion of like the 3DS version where you get the weird dance.
The dance where Sonic is like just barely doing the robot upside down,
and Knuckles is just doing whatever the fuck on his head. He just.
Senzaro actually seems like they tried with Shattered Crystal.
They really did, but Big Red Button
has a lot of their staff apparently left during the development, which I guess makes sense. But what doesn't make sense is how they still, after all of this, didn't manage to hire more QA testers. The Credits only had one QA tester.
I think it may have been like the fact that, you know, the staff had left, and then they also had to get the game out on the same day as the 3DS version.
There was actually a huge joke going on with the Wii, with like the fact that Big Red Button was a bunch of ex-Naughty Dog developers, and people were like surprised that a game this bad came from ex-Naughty Dog developers. And somebody responded, "There's a reason they're now ex-Naughty Dog developers."
Oh, yeah.
That's
a reasonable development.
Such a harsh burn. That's so bad.
Moving on from issues with games, Destiny has...
As of recently, an issue-full game, Destiny has released that they're... that they're releasing a free trial, which I'm guessing is kind of like how World of Warcraft does their like free-to-play kind of thing, where it's like restricted access, which I guess works.
No,
I guess it could work.
I think it's just because the level cap. Because I believe you can go anywhere in Warcraft, like Warcraft.
You could only hit level 20.
Yeah, you can only hit level 20, and then there's that paywall.
Paywall.
Yeah, the paywall, the subscription paywall.
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah. Right. I don't know. I would actually go past the paywall to try out Final Fantasy XIV. That looks like fun. Like, I don't know how it is, but I would give it a shot.
What paywall is it? Amazing World. Actually, no, that's free to play.
Seeing Amazing World reminded me of how much fun I had when I was a kid playing Toontown.
Seeing Amazing World reminded me of how much fun I had playing Spiral Knights. Like,
oh yeah, Spiral Knights is a game we need to get back to.
Yes.
But do you remember Toontown?
I never was able to like get on and actually like experience it, but I do remember the name.
Toontown was just the most ridiculously fun thing in a while. Like, cause I was a stupid kid. And it was like the first MMO I could actually enjoy thoroughly. And it was such fun because it was like, oh yeah, I grew up with all these Disney characters, and then you would gradually get better and everything. It was like the most basic formula of MMO. And you would just throw pies and squirt robots with water and shit. It was actually a surprise, and it was a turn-based game.
What?
Yeah, it was a turn-based, like, strategy RPG kind of thing, where if you were fighting something, at any point during your battle, a random player that is walking in the same area as you could walk towards your battle and join you in the fight, no matter what the fight is.
I think Wizard 101 had that same kind of gameplay structure.
Yeah?
Except that was card-based.
Right,
Because
yeah. It was, I mean, this is kind of the same thing, because it was like your items were just selectable.
Mhm.
As long as you had them unlocked, you could be like, this time I'm going to use quicksand. Or this time I'm going to drop an anvil.
Because
Yeah, that
why
sounds
not?
fun. Yeah, because cartoons.
More about the Destiny free trial.
Yeah.
I think we...
Tangent on Toontown, brought to you by Destiny.
Yeah. Would you recommend it?
I would recommend if people give Destiny a shot. If you're a fan of shooters, you will enjoy it, but you have to get past the fact that the game is an absolute loot grind. So if you're a fan of like Diablo, then you might like it, because Destiny is just like a very soft core loot grinder, where you get to shoot a bunch of stuff with guns that basically look the same and usually fire the same way, but all in all, fun. It's just fun with friends. Is the
See,
thing.
when Destiny originally came out, I usually had the comparison of comparing it to Borderlands, but now you say the guns aren't really the same, and it's not as much of a loot. Like, sure.
It's not as the weapon design isn't really as creative or explorative as Borderlands. It usually follows the same guidelines. Like, all weapon classes usually follow the same guidelines, and they usually don't break away from each other. And only the extremely rare guns break the lines. Like, I have something called a Bad Juju, which looks like a scout rifle, but it's a pulse rifle. A scout rifle fires semi-automatic, one shot at a time. But a pulse rifle fires 3 shots at a time. And the Bad Juju is a green-looking gun, and it has a giant skull on it with a rib cage, and like the green skull like spews green smoke. It looks like an awesome gun, but it sucks. But the gun looks awesome, but it looks like a scout rifle, and that's the only major difference you get. And that's depressing, because it's like, I want more variety in the weapons, but I know that they're focusing on making the game actually play well, and make it a much more easier or a more enjoyable game to play. So I have to wait for my gun that shoots lightning. Shouldn't take a while, right, Bungie?
Yeah.
Right?
Don't say that. It'll never come out now.
Next topic.
Speaking of never coming out...
Segues are weird.
You're right. For right now, there's no planned Smash DLC. Meaning, everyone won't get Ridley as a playable character for a while.
Well, I mean, he will technically be playable, but you won't be able to play as him.
For now.
For now. I hope to God that he's never playable.
I really hope that they plan to put Isaac in Smash.
I don't mean to offend people who want Ridley to be a playable character in Smash, but why? Why is Ridley such a high demanded? He's not even a boss. He's barely a mini boss.
He's the exact same as like the little bird thing from Magicant on the 3DS version.
Oh yeah, Flying
Man, yeah.
Yeah, Magic Hand, by the way.
I said Magicant.
You said Magicant.
No, I
Anyways.
said whatever.
Anyways.
I say Magicant.
Well, I mean, in the Japanese version, Ness is naked.
Okay.
Anyways. Hi, NSA. How are you doing?
Wait. Trying to think of transition.
When should I apply for an appointment at Guantanamo? Anyways, I'm kind of glad that there's no planned Smash DLC yet, because that means that they're focusing on making the game work. I don't doubt that they'll have Smash DLC later down the line.
I don't doubt that either.
Dark Souls 2 originally wasn't planned to have DLC, but after fans demanded and requested that there should be DLC, they later thought, it might be a good idea. So they released 3 DLC of 5-hour extensions of the world, all of which are really good.
Yeah.
Anyways,
When was that DLC compared to the release date of Dark Souls 2? Was it like just a couple months?
Dark Souls came out in March, and I think the first DLC dropped in August.
Oh yeah, just a couple months.
Or no, July. July, August, and September. There was a single DLC every month. And they had 3 DLC packs. And the thing is that apparently if you got all 3 of the DLC and you got all 3 of the crowns, all the crowns would glow. And as long as you wore one of the crowns, you would never turn hollow, which is the point of Dark Souls, is that if you die, you turn hollow and have a penalty of being hollow until you return human again.
That really just like defeats the purpose of it, though.
Not really, because it doesn't detract from the actual overall difficulty of the game.
But does it
just like
detract from a penalty? Because like in Dark Souls, you die a lot, and you
there are things in Dark Souls, like there's the Ring of Life Protection, which there's some ring that if you wear when you die, you don't turn hollow, and you don't lose your souls, but the ring breaks in the process. So when you respawn, the ring is broken, and it doesn't have the effect until you repair it.
Yes, but if you have all the DLC and have this crown, when does the crown go away?
It's an equipable helmet.
Okay.
So
then
if you don't want to if you want to take it off, then you don't have to have it on. You can have your normal helmet on, just have it on the side. You don't have to wear it.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
an
but
optional thing.
if you wear it, then you bypass that penalty.
I guess.
It just
The thing is
it
like
just seems kind of weird that they would.
there's a lot of stuff that bypasses penalties. Like the major penalty of dying in Dark Souls, which the game doesn't take away from,
Is losing
or
souls.
the crowns
yeah.
rather, is losing souls. Yeah, and if you turn hollow, then you really only lose like a section of your life bar, which is a huge penalty because it eventually stacks to 50% of your health, which you can only get back if you use a human effigy and return your health back to full health. But you become a human again, and if you're human, that's when you can invade, or when you can be invaded by dark spirits.
Okay, I kind of see the point now. They kind of want to like derive from that.
They want to drive a different meta, it seems.
Yeah, I can see that then.
Yeah.
Another news: Tony Hawk has ridden the first hoverboard.
The world's first actually operable hoverboard. There was a scientific team. I can actually look this up real quick. But Tony Hawk and one of his friends that works on the Ride Channel, which is a website about skateboarding news and everything, they recently found out that somebody made an actual hoverboard called, seems that the company's called Hendo Hover.
I believe you're correct on that.
And it seems, I actually brought this up in Blazecake, but it seems as though Back to the Future was off by a year. Back to the Future 2 was off by a year.
Like, did they get the month and the date right, just off by 1 year?
It seems as though this video came out like the month after. Or actually, no. When was Back to the Future 2 set?
I've never seen.
I'm gonna keep looking this up. But yeah, the news came out in October 21st. It seems. Back to the Future Part 2 is when it came out, right?
I believe so.
When the first hoverboard made its appearance. Travels to 2015, October 21st, 2015. They revealed it the year before. That's amazing. I have this really odd like mentality where I love seeing that kind of stuff happen. Like, there's a game that released a few years ago called Homefront. It wasn't very well received. It was made by I think the story was written by the same person who made Apocalypse Now. But the story is based around like the Korean occupation of America. And the story's timeline indicates that Kim Jong-il dies in 2020 2012, I think, was what it was, 2011, 2012. And Kim Jong-il died 2 weeks before the turn of the year.
Wow.
2 weeks before the exact turn of the year.
Jeez.
And I could not believe it. Like, I love that kind of stuff. Like, the coincidental foresight of games, where it's like, this might happen. I love that.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can own your hoverboard. You can own a hoverboard for the costly price of, I think $10,000.
I saw the video of him actually riding it, and it looked odd.
It's an actual hoverboard.
It was obviously a
it's like
hoverboard
it's
because
off
it was
the
like
ground, but it's a
half
it's
inch
a
off the
hoverboard.
ground. But
Yeah, it's a hoverboard.
the only thing was he was just spinning in circles. He wasn't doing any actual tricks with it.
Yeah, I mean,
He couldn't actually.
there's only
get,
so much a hoverboard could
Yeah,
do.
he couldn't really get any actual like elevation off of it.
Those looking for a working Hendo hoverboard will have to shell out $10,000.
And at that point, you might as well, shell out more money and buy your copy of the $1 million edition of Stage Row. Fuck.
It looks like it hovers 1 inch off the ground. So that is, I mean, yeah, it rides 1 inch off the ground, and it does seem like it's a step in the right direction.
It really is,
because the moment that you can actually have directional control over it is the moment that it's an actual hoverboard. Like, I know not everybody's like exactly looking for the Back to the Future style one that's like a foot off the ground and you can see Marty McFly doing all this insane shit, like going on the streets, and then the moment he sees like a truck heading his way, he like transfers over to like the wall of a building. It's like, no, just a simple 1 inch off the ground hoverboard that allows you to do shit and lets you go like 15 miles an hour on a public street. That's fine. That's fine. That's exactly what the future needs.
No.
Is simple transportation.
No, this crap. I can't hear you. Hold on. No, but this hoverboard's gonna be for the new version of Skate.
Ooh boy.
Yeah, it's gonna want to ride.
It's Tony Hawk Ride all over
It's gonna be
again.
new peripheral.
Oh dear
Coming
God. Tony Hawk
coming
Ride.
2018
Tony Hawk fucking
for
Ride.
your Xbox 2.
I love how Tony Hawk still defends that game, and I guess he should. Like that is a really good concept, but the execution was fuck all.
Yeah.
Anyways, next up, Battlefield 5, or whatever it's going to be called, as everybody seems to entail the titles with. Battlefield 5 will return to its roots of being a military shooter. For those of you who haven't been around the block with Battlefield games, originally with Battlefield 2, the game was more centered around army-based large-scale battles. And in the recent releases, especially since Bad Company 2, the game has entailed more around squad-based tactical combat. And it seems as though they're going to space it out a bit more around the lines of Arma, but in the same arcadey style that we're all familiar with. And hopefully they don't fuck this up as badly as they did with Battlefield 4. Or potentially Battlefield Hardline, since that was apparently delayed recently. I don't know. What do you think about Battlefield?
I don't know. It's just one of those games that hasn't really like caught my attention, so I have no like qualms about it. That's why you're the one that's mostly talking about it. I've never personally played it, so I can't say much about it.
Right. I have the most experience with Battlefield because I don't know. I grew up when I filled the void of not being able to play Halo a lot with Battlefield Bad Company 2. Bad Company 2 is actually the first game I owned with my new desktop that wasn't a Steam digital game.
Mm-hmm.
It was the first game I got, and I think the only one, because the other ones, no Borderlands, never mind. But Bad Company 2 is just an amazing game, and Battlefield 3 kinda was okay, but Battlefield 4 I just never played because it was like, okay, it's just Battlefield 3 with more insane shit that I don't care about. Okay, moving on. But I don't know. I have hopes that Battlefield 5 will be a game that interests me. But until then, I'll just have to deal with playing Arma 2 for a while.
In other news, as of I believe this was actually released today, the 20th.
Today at like noon.
Yeah.
Today at like 11 or something.
We have the Game of the Year nominations from the Game Awards 2014.
Yes.
The nominees, I believe there's 5 games. There's Bayonetta 2, Dark Souls 2, Dragon Age Inquisition, which I believe was released this week.
Yes, it was released actually 2 days ago.
Hearthstone, which I don't understand, and Shadow of Mordor.
Hearthstone is a Hearthstone deserves to be on that list because that's basically Yu-Gi-Oh! Evolved.
It is. I mean,
Like,
I
more or
played it.
less.
I think it's a good game. It's just I don't see it as a game of the year. I see like Smash Wii U probably popping up there at some point.
Well, the thing is that Hearthstone is a free-to-play game, but it's just so incredibly well designed.
Yeah.
Like, it's basically Dueling Network for adults. No offense to adults who play Dueling Network, but really?
It really is because it has a lot of characters tied in with the Warcraft lore.
Yeah, and it's not even just the Warcraft lore as well. Blizzard also decided to do an outing into the MOBA genre with Heroes of the Storm, and that game just looks amazing for Blizzard fans because it is just the ultimate crossover. Like, you see StarCraft characters and Warcraft characters and Diablo characters. It just looks insane and amazing and fun. I wonder if they'll add Blackthorn. That would be amazing if just Blackthorn was a playable character.
Yeah. And
Blizzard, get on that.
speaking of Blizzard, there's some more nominees. Blizzard, Monolith, Nintendo, Telltale, and Ubisoft are developers of the year.
Monolith is Monolith Soft,
Monolith
right?
Soft.
Or is it just Monolith Soft?
I believe there's actually 2 different companies, Monolith and Monolith Soft.
Yeah. What has Monolith done recently?
I'm not sure.
I
Yeah,
can
you
look
can
this
look that up while I'm talking about Best Independent Game. Broken Age Act 1, Monument Valley, Shovel Knight, Transistor, and The Vanishing of Ethan Carter. Monument Valley, I don't know about that game. I have not heard of it.
Oh, Monolith has done Shadow of Mordor.
Oh, that's right. No wonder they're up there.
Okay, that actually makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that does make a lot of sense. Okay. I apologize.
What's Monument Valley?
Monument Valley is I don't remember exactly what it... I don't exactly remember what it is, but it's like a really existential game. It's free.
It has to be
bad.
for the Vita, because I haven't seen it.
No, it's...
Is it an iOS game?
Yeah, it's an iOS game on Android
What?
devices for Google Play. Yeah, and available on
Okay, I
Kindle.
gotta check this thing out.
It's an isometric... It looks isometric.
Yeah, I can see some of that. Monument Valley also joins the likes of Bravely Default, Hearthstone, Smash Bros. 3DS, and 3s for Best Mobile/Handheld Game.
Mm-hmm. And it also joins Shovel Knight and Transistor in the Best Indie Game of the Year, which is a very tall order because Transistor and Shovel Knight are very highly acclaimed indie games this year.
Yeah, I really think Transistor kind of has it. Well, no, Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight really has it because I hit a lot of nostalgia points, but Transistors are close second.
Well, yeah, but it's going to be either between Transistor or Shovel Knight, and I'm willing to bet that it's Transistor because Transistor comes from a very high pedigree because the developers are Bastion, Supergiant Games. So they already have a good track record with Bastion, and they have an even better track record since they released Transistor. So it seems like that developer knows what they're doing with games, and their games are succeeding because of it. And Transistor is no fault to that. It was a very well-designed game and was different from Bastion in its own unique way. Hello, car. Bye, car.
Gotta get our daily dose of audio cues.
I think You know what the funny thing is? I don't think that car has made that much noise since our last lukewarm recording.
We gotta call that the
It's phenomenal.
lukewarm car.
Yeah.
So that's a lucrative.
The lukewarm muscle car.
Best narrative is South Park: Stick of Truth, Walking Dead Season 2, Phone, Wolf Among Us, Valiant Hearts: The Great War, and Wolfenstein: The New Order. Phone is not actually on there. My phone vibrated because someone's DMing me on Twitter.
There's no way that Telltale Games wouldn't win.
Is there there's 2 games, and both of them are critically acclaimed. So
yes, and I think Valiant. I haven't heard a thing about Valiant Hearts.
Neither have I. I pretty much think it's dropped off the radar.
But what was the last game?
Wolfenstein.
Wolfenstein:
Yes.
The New Order. I've heard really good things about that game's narrative.
So have I.
I've heard it's a revival of the. I've heard it's a revival of the genre, or the revival of the Wolfenstein games, and that's a very high order considering how badly acclaimed Wolfenstein. Yeah. Anyways.
Best score: Alien Isolation, Child of Light, Destiny, Sunset Overdrive, and Transistor. I personally think Transistor and Child of Light are gonna be
Transistor
very
will
high.
Probably win that one. I would say Destiny though, because Destiny has actually really good music. Because that was Martin O'Donnell's last game that he works on Bungie with, and Martin O'Donnell did all the scores from Halo onto Destiny for Bungie. So he's been there since the beginning of the games, or the beginning of the company's uprise, just making music, really good music at that. It's kind of sad to see him go.
Yeah.
Oh well.
Best performance. This is referring to actors as characters. Adam Harrington as Big B Wolf in The Wolf Among Us. Kevin Spacey as Jonathan Irons in Call of Duty: Advanced Warfare.
I've heard that Kevin Spacey is basically the selling point of Advanced Warfare. So
that's a lot to say. Melissa Hutchinson as Clementine in The Walking Dead Season 2. Trey Parker as various voices. South Park: The Stick of Truth.
Trey Parker or Troy Parker?
Because it's Matt and Trey
people?
Who created the actual show.
Okay. I don't watch.
I don't know either, but I just remembered from hearing both those names. I
remember hearing that the Westboro Baptist Church tried to get some dirt on them because of some jokes that they made in a South Park episode.
Yeah.
And they were furious because they couldn't find anything bad about them. They were just normal guys. I love that
that's
story.
Funny. And speaking of normal guys, Troy Baker as Talion in Shadow of Mordor is also a nominee.
Troy Baker. He does. Troy Baker is also. I can't remember what else Troy Baker has done. I know that he did.
He did Joel in the Last of Us.
And that means that he also did the Joker in Batman Arkham.
He was also the Joker in Injustice. No, he wasn't.
He was also Delson Rowe in Infamous First
No, it was
Flight.
someone else.
And
Nolan North was Deathstroke in Joker. That's right.
Right. God, he's done a lot of really good stuff.
Yeah, Nolan North is really...
I guess because of his last year of success, he's been able to get into a lot of amazing stuff. He's Ocelot in Metal Gear Solid 5.
Are you looking at his IMDb
Hawkeye and
right
Loki
now?
and Disney Infinity.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Because I was just about to do that.
He's Delson Rowe in the infamous Second Son games, which is the main character.
Games for Change, Mountain, Never Alone, The Last of Us, Left Behind, War of Mine, and Valiant Hearts are all nominees.
I'd say that this War of Mine would win. Do you know what Mountain is?
I've seen it. Yeah, it's like a procedurally changing.
It's a procedurally generated mountain. That's
it's like a screensaver.
And it plays calm music. Sometimes little words come up. It's almost existential, and it's right. That's the best thing. But yeah, I'd say that I'd say that this War of Mine might have a good
Yeah.
chance. Valiant Hearts, maybe.
I've never really heard anything from this War of Mine and Valiant Hearts, so I can't really say much on that.
This War of Mine is like a release of maybe last week.
A lot of these are just November releases. Either that or
Also about the whole Developer of the Year thing. Ubisoft.
Yeah,
isn't
no,
exactly,
they're not getting it. Not after Unity.
They're not exactly. On
Okay,
a good
it's
note with
It's
their
Montreal,
fans.
so that may be different.
Montreal does.
Yeah, they did Rayman, so.
And I think. Let me check what games they've done. Go on to the next.
All right, so the next list
while
is
you do this.
Best Remaster. This one I don't understand. Grand Theft Auto 5, and then there's
That just came out 2 days ago.
Pokemon Omega Ruby Alpha Sapphire, Last of Us Remastered, the Master Chief Collection, and Tomb Raider Definitive Edition. I personally think after all the hype, Pokemon Ruby Sapphire.
Yeah, Pokemon Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire is the only actual remake. If you think about it. Like, The Last of Us and GTA 5 are high-def ports. Which, you know about my whole
And then
mentality on
Definitive
that.
Edition and Master Chief Collection are just adding in stuff that originally were not in the game.
Quick note, I was way off about Montreal being the Rayman people. They do the Assassin's Creed games, the Far Cry
Oh,
games,
no, okay, yeah,
Watch
they're not
Dogs,
making it.
Child
Nope,
of Light,
moving on.
And they're doing Rainbow Six Siege. Please, oh god, don't fuck that up.
I'm just saying, don't get.
Oh yeah, Red Storm's doing the Division, aren't they? Thank God.
Best shooter: Call of Duty: Advanced Warfare, Destiny, Far Cry 4, Titanfall, Wolfenstein: New Order.
I'd say Wolfenstein might have a very
Wolfenstein
good chance on that
and
because it's a traditional. It's a tradition. It like goes back to like the '90s style where it's like, dude, you can dual wield assault rifles without.
it's
any
basically gonna be
penalty.
like a split vote. If you are
It's
in,
it's a huge.
yeah, it's gonna be like a split
thing.
vote between that and Titanfall, in my opinion.
Yeah, I can't believe Titanfall came out this year.
Yeah, wasn't it like February?
I actually had that conversation with someone earlier where I was like, oh yeah, Dark Souls 2 is a really good chance on Game of the Year, and I actually had that conversation where it's like, I thought that was released last year. It's like, no, it was actually released in March.
This year. I think it was on the same day as my birthday. I think it was like March 14, right? 18th, that's
18th.
right. It was 4 days after it.
Yeah.
Alright.
Dark Souls 2, I think, has a good chance for Game of the Year.
Yeah,
really good
I
game.
would say that. It's just I think people would be turned off by its difficulty compared to the first one.
Yeah.
Alright, Best Action Adventure Game, Alien Isolation, Assassin's Creed Unity, Bayonetta 2, and Shadow of Mordor, and Sunset Overdrive.
Sunset Overdrive has a very good chance, along with Bayo 2,
I really
and
think has a decent shot.
Bayo 2 has an extremely good chance considering how good it was. They somehow made it better than the very first game, which is hard to do for a sequel. It's very hard to do it for a sequel. What was the first one again?
Alien Isolation.
That also has an extremely good chance. Because Alien Isolation is one of the first games from fans of the Alien franchise that it's basically a huge love letter to the style that came from Alien. Like it's basically perfect 2-key, and it seems almost made for fans, and it actually runs so well. It plays very well. I was impressed at how good it was. But again, it's like people think the AI is absolute garbage, while other people think that the AI is the smartest thing of all time. So it's clearly a perspective thing. And I guess I'm on the side where it's like, oh yeah, the AI actually seems really smart. I'm kind of glad that it turned into this direction.
But what about the
So, yeah.
multiplayer in the last Alien game? Wasn't that good?
We don't speak of that demon.
Alright, best role-playing game nominees. Bravely Default, Dark Souls 2, Divinity, Dragon Age Inquisition, South Park The Stick of Truth. Dark is not a nominee, I just accidentally said that instead of Dragon.
You tried to say Dark Souls.
No, I said I think I just read Dragon is Dark. So let me re-see that. Bravely Default, Dark Souls 2, Divinity, Dragon Age Inquisition, South Park, Stick Truth. There we go.
I'd say because I love Dark Souls, I'd say it has a decent shot. But if I really had to choose Bravely Default,
I'd personally say like Bravely Default, I guess.
But it's hard to doubt that fans of Dragon Age will not spam their votes towards Dragon Age Inquisition. Because Dragon Age Inquisition has apparently gotten really favorable views. Like, it's apparently been getting really good reviews comparably to Dragon Age 2.
Yeah, I heard it was really good.
Yeah. This is going to be a huge file size for
you. Yeah, we're already in a minute. Like, a minute. We're already at, like, an hour and, like, 20 minutes. This is going to be great.
Yeah. I guess we can skip the last news subject since that's not really a big deal.
Yeah, if you guys just want to go ahead. Well, are we going to continue with this or wait, what?
Yeah. We'll go on to we'll go into our discussions for maybe 15 minutes or so.
That won't take long. 2-hour podcast.
So I guess I could start the discussion with a story about Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire that's very important. So Zoe and I have this plan. Zoe, for those of you who don't know, is my girlfriend. And we decided that she's getting Alpha Sapphire and I'm getting Omega Ruby, that we're going to do a Nuzlocke together. A co-op Nuzlocke, where after every gym we fight each other and everything. The same kind of deal with Nuzlocks.
One time when we tried to do a Nuzlocke. Remember that?
Yeah. Good times. We were not prepared to do five perspective editing.
I was in it.
But the reason why I want to bring this up is because she's actually doing her Nuzlocke run right now, and you would not believe what she got as a first encounter. She got the goddamn Ralts as a first encounter. And I know that I'm going to get something like a Surskit.
You're going to get...
So.
No, you're going to get a C-Dot. That's what you're going to get. You're going to get a C-Dot.
C-Dot? Aw, man.
And he was in Ruby. That's I'm calling it right now. Putting money on it.
If you put money on it, man, I swear to God, if you get it,
No,
I don't want to pay you back.
No, I'm not actually going to do that.
But yeah. I don't know, I'm really excited for Omega Ruby. And in case of you people that don't follow my Twitter, you missed quite the hellstorm I released on Twitter, where I kept posting pictures of games that had a minor importance to water, or games with major importances to water, like for the case of Hydro Thunder or Wave Race Blue Storm. And I joined in the festivities of spamming my Twitter feed with the Too Much Water thing, and I'm pretty sure it's now a meme.
Oh yeah.
So
right now I'm looking at one that IGN posted about San Francisco.
Yeah. I think this is the second time IGN has created a meme. This is probably, well, so far. I mean, there's probably other memes that they've made that I don't know about. I think the last one that they did was like Skyrim with guns for Far Cry 3. Was that IGN or was that GameSpot?
I can't remember.
Might as well Google that.
While you're doing that, I can go on a rant about memes. I personally think memes nowadays are pretty annoying.
Oh no, that was machinima.
You were way off.
Sorry. I really should disassociate like Skyrim with guns from IGN, because there's nothing worse than machinima. like even IGN isn't as bad as machinima.
Contracting.
I'm sorry, IGN. You don't deserve it.
You don't deserve the disgrace.
Yeah, you don't deserve the disgrace.
Alright, my rant on memes. I don't like memes nowadays. Like the
memes have gotten
the
oversaturated.
Starter pack one really pissed me off. Like, there was one day where all I could see were starter packs, and it was just filled with images of just random bullshit.
Because you follow.
I follow a lot of people that...
You follow arms.
You know. And Connor also did it. So.
Yeah.
But I also just follow a lot of people that just tweet random bullshit, because why not?
I kind of, like, looked at it, and I was like, what the hell?
That's what I was confused about. Like, I don't even know the origins of it. Like, what?
I found out about the too much water thing from Connor, and I was like, what? why would that be? Has this person ever played Ruby and Sapphire? The world is half water and half land. How does it have too much water? Earth has more water than Hoenn. Our actual world has more water than Hoenn.
Well, our world's also big.
I laughed about it for a little bit, and then I was like, okay, this is really bothering me. I should vent this with actual memes. And you know who sent me a response telling me to stop? Kevin.
What?
Kevin sent me a tweet basically begging me to stop spamming too much water. Because apparently it pissed him off. Go figure.
Yeah, I didn't say anything. I was just like, yeah, I'm not gonna ruin anyone's fun with it, but I'm just not gonna take part in it. So that was my stance on the memes. And
oh man, I cannot wait to do this in Smash for Wii U. I just realized. 8-player 99 stock.
Jigglypuff. Yeah, I just saw that tweet.
Yeah. Cause. Okay, I guess I can talk a little bit more about Project M, since we're on the topic of Smash right now. Project M 3.5 also implemented new stamina types, and one of the stamina types is Type 5, which locks the screen to the full level, basically, and it also makes it so that the off-screen killing is disabled. So anytime you get launched onto the right side of the screen, for example, you re-enter on the left side of the screen, so it's basically a wrap. And you set that shit to 9,990 stamina, and every time you do a smash attack with like 200 hit points left, which is basically like 700%, because Type 5 also scales the knockback to actual percentage rates. Basically, at 700 HP lost, any smash attack launches any enemy or any player like 20 times back and forth across the screen, and you just see lines of smoke. It's just the greatest fun. It's just the most fun I've ever had playing alone.
Just gotta add that like sad playing alone.
Because I play Lucario, and anytime Fox ever appears, I get absolutely destroyed. So it's always satisfying to just see Fox flying around. It's so great.
Fox is personally like one of my least favorite characters.
Fox is a bitch in Project M because the AI, they actually made the AI proper, like they made it professional style AI in Project M 3.5. So if you set Fox to level 9 difficulty, he basically does professional style like shine sparking, and they do wave dashing, and they do like the weird hoppy double laser thing majigger. It's just insane. I'm just, there are no words for how insanely good the AI is, except when the moments that they don't register that they're running off stage and don't know how to recover, and they just self-destruct.
Yeah.
Like it still has quirks, but it's better. I'm glad about that. Yeah.
What else would we like to talk about?
How about potential series for Lukewarm?
Right. As far as potential series go, we haven't really talked about what we're going to be doing, because we're just now getting back into recording. It's our first recording in months, and it's a new thing.
Yeah,
so
I haven't recorded. I haven't recorded since
September. I haven't recorded since
so
October,
I'm like really rusty, which is why my voice is kind of weird right now. Like I'm not exactly in my talking voice
and
right now.
I've been sick, so
because I don't really.
I'm.
Yeah.
We're getting back to it. It's gonna take us a little bit, maybe some work on our solo stuff, and we'll be able to get back into our co-op stuff. But do expect to see more like Thousand Year Door and all that before the end of the year.
Thousand Year Door. You guys might potentially see F-Zero GX. I'm gonna make that promise right now that eventually we will do.
Risk of Rain was a good idea. We need to think about that.
Yes, Risk of Rain, tabletop simulator. We can play. Play Boss Monster. Boss Monster is a really fun game. I actually played it with Soren recently. If we can get more people, we could also play Betrayal at House on the Hill.
Oh yeah,
that could be fun.
And if there's anything you guys want us to try and try to see what we can do, leave in the comments. If there's any suggestions for this podcast, any questions, leave them in the comments as well. We'll probably find somewhere where we can just organize the comments. We may find another hosting service, but for right now, we're going to be doing it on YouTube. We're also going to be doing it separate audio tracks, so I have a lot to do this weekend.
Good luck.
It shouldn't be hard.
But yeah, if you have any questions, feel free to leave them in the comments, and we will answer them in the next recording podcast that we do. Hopefully with less news and more talk that we usually do. This was more professional than I think the first 3 episodes of The Thousand Year Door. Yeah. Actually, it's not really that sad because also the first 3 episodes of The Thousand Year Door allowed me to fully understand how much games hate me when I'm recording. And want to prove me wrong.
Bullshit I can muster in 30-minute recording.
Bingo! I might actually do Metroid Prime.
Ooh, that'd be fun to watch. Watch twice.
Watch me
twice.
flounder. Watch me flounder with fucking playing that game.
Are you really bad at that game?
Because okay, you want to hear the bad thing about when I picked up Metroid Prime? I picked up Metroid Prime because I remember that it was like a really influential shooter at the time. But the moment I started playing, I tried aiming with the C-stick because I forgot that Metroid Prime had tank controls. So the moment I was like, oh god.
I mean, I got used to it.
Yeah, I got used to it as well, but it took me a while. I mean, it's almost like playing Cabela's Big Game Hunter 2005 Adventures, where the scope in button is up on the D-pad.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay, I gotta scope in, but apparently the left button is put away gun. The left trigger is put away gun. I don't know why.
For reasons.
Yeah. 4 reasons.
So, we hope you guys, unless we have something else to discuss. Alright.
Nope.
We hope you guys have a smashing time this weekend. Playing didn't smash.
And please, when you start playing Omega Ruby and Alpha Sapphire, please try to avoid teaching your water-based Pokemon Thrash moves. Because that tends to cause self-inflicting damage. Also, Hammer Arm sucks.
To who? The game or yourself? Cause wouldn't you like be face palming every time that happened?
I don't know. That kind of seems like bashing, doesn't it?
Thrashing.
Mashing.
Crashing. Good night, everybody.
Nothing's changed in 3 months.
Oh god.
Dead to rights.
And done.
Dead to rights.